Hey guys, this video will be about how to take fire photos only with a normal phone and some editing magic. Let's get into it. Positioning tips. Let's talk position first, and then we'll go deeper into editing. 1. Be casual about it. One of the easiest ways you could improve your pictures is by simply relaxing and not thinking too much about the outcome. Whenever I wanted to take a selfie and I tried my best to look good and to mimic the perfect position and smile, I always hated how the photos turned out. But whenever I randomly pull out the camera without caring how I look and just say to myself, I'll post the picture no matter how it looks, the photos always turn out to be so much better. Now I understand why some people are bragging about how they don't care. It's because actually not caring makes us more attractive. 2. Move around. Another great tip you can use if you are struggling to take good pics is to simply take more photos while moving around, so you have a wider pool of angles you can choose from. Try as many poses as possible that come to your mind, and at the end of the session, you can have your pick with the winners. You can sit in only one place and have someone continually take photos of you while you move your body from side to side. Or you could try something more dynamic, like walking without noticing the camera, or spinning and talking to someone while capturing the heat of the moment. You would need other peeps for this one. The idea can also be used when you are alone too. If you have a Bluetooth remote camera button, they can be found cheaply on Amazon. 3. Lighting. This is going to sound obvious, but it's worth noting that the angle you take the photo from in relation to natural lighting is going to affect how much you can improve the photo at the end using filters. The time of the day you take the photo is also important to keep at the back of your head. Some of the most sensational photos come out around the golden hour, which is 1 hour before dusk. And that's because great lighting is the soul of a good picture. So make sure you position yourself at a nice and bright angle while taking the photo. That's unless you are trying to play around with some shadows in your photos this time and you want to convey a different type of emotion. And this is also another side tip that delves into the next point I want to make. 4. Emotion. Intentional pictures are better than pictures taken randomly. One way you can improve the effect of your pictures is by envisioning the emotion you're trying to convey before even taking them. Clarity of mind can get you closer to what you're trying to achieve. Here are some small examples you can use for this tip. Blue shades are for more serious settings and red is for more passionate ones. Gray is for more sinister scenes and light for more happier ones. 3. Editing tips. There are some types of photos that become popular because they bring an air of novelty to them. And you can also start doing this if you can follow what I'll share with you later in the video. But before knowing how to be a trendsetter, it's nice to understand what makes a photo objectively good. A good photo captures the genuine emotion and personality of a person by making use of things like flattering lighting, sharp focus, and a well-composed background that enhances the subject without distractions. And now we're going to learn how to do exactly that by making use of a little editing in our photos. If you want a recommendation, you can start out with an app like Photoshop that has literally hundreds of different filters that you can use, although you don't need them all to take fire pictures. We'll only talk about 5 of the most important of them that make the biggest difference. Let's begin. 1. Brightness. For this one, I'm going to talk about Photoshop Mobile, but all these options are present in the majority of photo editing apps. You are going to find them even in the simple settings of a gallery like the one for Android. When we are thinking about using brightness, what we want to achieve with this is ensure the subject of the photo, you in this case, is well lit without overexposing highlights or losing details and shadows. So if you feel like your photo doesn't match that description, then you can use the brightness option to light up the image. 2. Contrast. Another easy way of enhancing the subject of a picture is to increase the contrast option. This will add more depth to your photos by highlighting details and making the subject stand out from the background. Normally, photos look best when these options are used in low amounts, but sometimes when artists want to exaggerate an emotion, they like to pipe up a setting like this one all the way up, giving off the look of something completely new and unusual. Saturation. If you feel like the colors in your photos are dull and vague, then the saturation setting is exactly what you are looking for. Increasing this option will make the colors more vibrant and vivid, making them look more fantastical, which is what the aim of a lot of photographers is. Painters try to make their portraits look as realistic as possible, while photographers try to make them look as unrealistic as possible, which can also be described as fantasy-like. 4. Shades. Another way of adding depth to the photo is by playing with the shades and tints option. Though, this is primarily used to convey certain emotions by creating an atmosphere. Depth can also come from the contrast of your mood and the shades you use. 5. Sharpness. And now for the last effect option that's worth mentioning. We have sharpness, which is used to enhance the clarity and detail of edges within an image, which makes it different from settings like clarity and contrast, which affect overall visual impact and depth. In my opinion, these 5 options are the first batch of settings you should start playing with. You can make tons of different photos from all sorts of angles look fire only by using these filters. So if you start out with these ones, and if you decide to go deeper with photography, you can experience all the other hundreds of filters apps have to offer. 6. Cropping. Now, there's one more option for editing a photo that doesn't have to do with filters, and that's cropping, which is very useful for cutting out elements that lower the quality of the image. For example, you can cut out people from the background that you don't want to appear, which can take away from the overwhelm of the photo and make you stand out. It's also useful for taking out things like trash, toilets, or other objects like these. All you have to do is to choose the option. Tap on the area you want to cut out, copy the background under the object, and then you can just delete it from the picture. IV. More tips. Here are some extra unorganized tips you can take inspiration from for your next photo shooting sessions. 1. Eccentricity. Doing the opposite of what everyone's doing can work really well. It's how upside down and faceless pictures are so popular. Here are some other ideas of things not a lot of people do that can get you inspired. Focus on imperfections. Don't hide them, highlight them. Capture movement. Take a picture while jumping or walking. Use reflections. After it rained, you can try to take a photo of yourself through a puddle or by the lake. Shoot through objects like foliage and fences. Weirdness always stands out. 2. Brand. Another thing worth mentioning is how some people organize their photos on their Insta. Some people like overarching themes and similar emotions for all their photos, while most people like to shake it up and have a wide range of different styles. This will just come down to personal preference and finding your unique style. It's all about expressing yourself artistically and knowing some editing skills. 3. Why you look better in the mirror. You don't look as good in photos as you look in the mirror because of a phenomenon that's called the mirror exposure effect. This psychological phenomenon explains that we tend to prefer things we are more familiar with. And this, coupled with the fact that pictures show an inverted version of your mirror self, which will outline a bunch of uneven facial characteristics and skin level discrepancies that you got familiar with in the mirror, and we can start to see why this becomes a problem. A great tip you can use to get over this hunch is that instead of using a mirror to get ready for a photo, you can use your camera the whole time. This way, you will start to get accustomed to how you look in the camera while also getting the chance to mitigate a little any features you don't like. Or alternatively, you can just use a filter to invert your photo around and you should look just like your mirror self. Me personally, I noticed that over time, after taking many pictures of myself, I stopped being affected by this effect, which goes hand in hand with the tip I mentioned in the beginning of just being casual about it. So if you still have this issue, then it's probably a sign that you don't take enough pictures. Just pull out the camera more often and it should go away. 4 looks. Those are just some of the things you can do to improve your pics. Still, a photo looks better if you yourself look better. So if you are interested in seeing another video from us, you can check out our guide on how to improve your looks. V. Outro. If you practice these tips, then your pictures are going to catch on fire. If you like this video, then hit the like button and subscribe to be notified when we post more amazing content just like this. See you in the next video. Bye.